West Ham have just drawn at home with Chelsea in a game I still haven't got over. We could have won that game. It was end-to-end stuff. It was a good game, but ultimately, look, you look at it as a point, it's a good point, but it's a disaster at the end of it because we've lost two of our best players in Paqueta and Aguerd. Paqueta, man, he was our brightest player at the start of the game. Goes down, does his shoulder. And then Aguerd later on does his hamstring. It could not get more disastrous than that. When can we get a break with these injuries? Zuma out, Skamaka out, Cornet out. Kura looked like he was out and he came back. And it's so hard. And I'm on Moyes' case. And there's a few things that, I've got criticisms today and some praises. But you have to feel for him in a way because no matter how I feel about the job he's done so far this season, it doesn't do any favours when consistently getting injuries to our best players. And you have to work around that because injuries happen. But man, it's just our luck is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I thought the start of the game early on, especially when Souček came on, that first half, Chelsea were just getting behind us, balls over the top, through balls, opening us up, and eventually they get their goal and it was well deserved. And I think Antonio was brilliant today, and the fact that he took him off, I thought was poor. And the work that Antonio did, drawing the players, allowed Emerson to get his goal, buzzing for him to score. He had a great game as well. And he's getting better and better, and he's got his debut goal. And I just look at that game, and there was opportunities to get some. We dealt with a lot of their players quite well, but they've got quality. They've got tons of quality in there. And I thought the team showed a lot of spirit, a lot of fight today. But we're just missing something inside in this team. And I just think when we had Souček on, and I have to give credit to Souček for his goal, I just think he misses so much in his passing ability and progressing the ball. And he takes his goal well, but that's not his main job. And the midfield, we lost quite a lot in terms of progressing the ball. And I thought Downs he could have brought on instead. He brings on Downs later in. Like I said, the substitution baffles me. I thought Bowen had a shaky game. He done some good things right. Ultimately, decision making. Like, why doesn't Downs bust a gut to get into the box? I see it so many times in this game today where a player like Antonio or Benrahma or even Soufal's high up the pitch with the ball, and Bowen, you're wondering where he is. He's like jogging. 1 minute he was back at the halfway line while the other players are forward. This is one of our attacking players. And he's not, I don't know if this is instruction from Moyes. I don't know if this is a Bowen thing. But he needs to do better. He needs to work harder to get into the box when we're making these attacks. Because we don't get many opportunities in the game. But yeah, I thought the substitutions, taking Antonio off was poor. I thought Antonio was one of our most dangerous players. He was causing them all sorts of problems, spinning players, holding up the ball well. I just couldn't figure it out. I thought he should have probably put Ings up top with Antonio. That was poor. And then took Downs off, Benrahma off for Downs. I wanted Downs on, but that was a weird one for me. I was trying to figure out what he was doing. If he was putting Aguerd left back, Emerson left wing and going to a back four. Is he like just a straight through like a 5-3-2, system? It was weird. It was tough to figure out. And I thought Downs looked good again. He looked good again. But still, he just doesn't get the time of day. And I have to talk about that VAR decision, man. It was right. Obviously, he was offside. But I just, I let myself believe. I was buzzing. I was elated. I thought we'd got the winner. It just annoys me that they're always right with decisions against us with Chelsea. I go back to that Stamford Bridge where they ruled out our correct goal, the goal that should have stood with Cornet. And, you know, we're never going to get the luck. And we just didn't get the luck today. They're talking about they should have got a penalty for the Souček. I think his hand was close to him. I think that would have been very harsh. So I don't know what the Chelsea fans are complaining about. But in the grand scheme of things, look, you can look at it and say, yes, it's a good point because it's against Chelsea. We need wins. We can't keep going into these games and going, it's good, we didn't lose, or we only lost 1-0. This is a good point, and that's a good point. The teams around us are starting to pick up wins. There's a chance at the end of this weekend we could be in the bottom 3. We go away to Tottenham now. If we lose that game, or we get a point, we could sink further into the bottom 3. So we need to, because of how we've done, we have to start getting wins against teams we're not expected to beat. The teams around us are doing it. Everton against Arsenal, Wolves against Liverpool. We've got to start doing that now. We can't keep having this negative mindset of, we can't expect to beat this team, we can't expect to beat that team. It has to happen. So, look, we go to Tottenham. Now's a great time to beat Tottenham, but I need to see the injury news. I need to see what we're working with. Zuma could be back. But Moyes, look, I think the 5 at the back is working. I can't give him too much criticism, but he needs to now find a way to work with what he's got. Downs has to come in over Souček. Has to. He won't. But look, we take the point and we take the positives out of it. On to Spurs. Let's smash them. If there's any game to win, it's that one.